Like the close quarters were ratcheting up the tension.
That was just disgusting. That's disgusting.
No, you keep the next time. Hey, you keep the next time. You're the 9, I don't care.
Why are you so
Security! Security, you just assaulted me.
Yeah, I insulted him.
Because you're the bodyguard, you can't go around pushing people, man.
The man just came up to me and pushed me and started talking to me.
No stranger to fighting, UFC announcer Bruce Buffer would put his money on Season 10 ones to watch Matt Marafiati.
I would go with the shorter guy. Yeah, definitely the shorter guy.
When the dust settled for the day, it was chip leader Michael Littman who had all the muscle. Down but not out was defending WPT Legends of Poker champion Will Fiella, who ended with 39,500 in chips. All of this excitement, and it was only Day 1A. Day 1B saw some familiar returning pros looking to take another shot, as well as plenty of amateurs who were firing just one bullet at their chance of advancing to Day 2.
Most amateurs play Day 1B because they're just going to take one shot. That's me, the amateur, hey!
After cards were in the air, Mike Sexton made the rounds and checked in with some of our favorite players, including WPT loyalist Alan Kessler, who was closing in on his 100th tournament on the tour.
We know you made the money more than anybody else on the World Poker Tour the last couple of years, so good luck today. But we want to see you at the final table. We need you at the final table.
I'm trying.
And the Royal Flush Girls railed the action and checked in with broad deal analyst Tony Dunst. Unlike Day 1A, Season 11 wants to watch Brian Hastings and Season 10 5-diamond finalist Vanessa Selps were off to a great start, picking up chips early.
So this is the time of the tournament where I think I really do well, and hopefully, you know, I'll end the day with 200K.
Throughout the day, the deck was hot for some
Here's a poker gun.
and cold for others.
So sick, man.
But Season 10 Player of the Year Joe Sirach, who had the day off after advancing on Day 1A, stopped by the Bicycle Casino and got his hair styled at the Mitch Grooming Bar. The day was not as relaxing for Season 8 WPT Legends of Poker champion Prahlad Friedman.
Still defending, so that's what I tried to do, but I was unsuccessful.
Vanessa Selps had her tournament life on the line when she got it all in pre-flop with Ace-9 against amateur Josh Hale holding Ace-Jack. With the board of Queen, 6, Jack, King, Josh flopped middle pair and Vanessa had a straight draw for the chalk. But a deuce on the river sent the poker phenom home earlier than she would have liked. For ClubWPT.com online qualifiers Philip Smith and Efren Abustan, the dream continued as they walked all over WPT champion Adam Weinrob.
Club WPT guy has been punishing me today.
And Season 11 ones to watch Brian Hastings.
Yeah, he was beating me up in a few hands there. I think he had it. Seems like an honest fella.
At the end of the day, 191 players survived, and Hilmar Solvason was chip leader with 227,000, followed closely by amateur Bhagwan Tejwani, who had high hopes of becoming the next legend of poker.
I want to be a legend.
The remaining field from days 1A and 1B combined forces as 302 players continued the long journey on the road to the final table.
On Day 2, there's still a lot of the field left. People aren't feeling the pressure of the bubble yet, so there'll still be some erratic, crazy play.
And as expected, people were not afraid to get their chips in the pot. For some, it worked out well, including Season 10 LAPC champion Sean Jazzayeri, Season 9 final tableist Ali Islami, Season 4 Reno final tableist Greg Mueller, and of course, WPT champion Dwight Pilgrim.
One step at a time.
But others weren't as fortunate. Daniel Strelitz got his chips in holding top 2 pair on a board of Ace-10-3 against Eric Davis's flopped set of threes. But it was the turn that led to an outburst from Eric when Daniel spiked a 10 for a bigger full house.
Kidding me. You gotta be
An inconsequential 8 on the river sent Eric to the rail
not gonna do it.
with a bad beat story to tell his friends.
Out the door, man.
Over at Table 7, last season's Legends of Poker 6th place finisher Awais Ahmed also flopped the set. This time it was aces, but it was no match for Joseph Chung's turned flush, and Awais would fall short of making back-to-back final tables at the Bicycle Casino. It would also be the end of the road for Season 11 ones to watch Brian Hastings and Dee Dozier.
There is a seat next to Justin Young if anyone would like it. Yay.
WPT Legends of Poker defending champions Andy Frankenberger and Will Fiala.
Well, I was trying to repeat my win from last year. Couldn't get that. Going to have some fun down at the beach tomorrow and see if I can cheer up a lost weekend.
But hanging in there were ClubWPT.com online qualifiers Philip Smith and amateur poker player and professional ladies man Efren Abustan, who stole a good luck kiss from the Royal Flush Girls. As the day came to an end, Ali Islami, Joseph Chung, and Max Steinberg were at the top of the leaderboard, along with Season 11 ones to watch Jason Kuhn, who had a chance to chat with one of the Royal Flush Girls.
Hey guys, this is Tuba, and I'm here with Jason Kuhn, one of our new ones to watch. Do you play to win or for the cash?
Well, I mean, I think all tournament players play for the win, but sometimes you've got to drop the ego and just try to make the most money you can.
Who has what it takes to become a legend? Find out when our extended coverage of the play down to the final 6 at the Bicycle Casino's Legends of Poker continues. Plus, Tony Dunst breaks it down in the raw deal. And we'll see how the Bicycle Casino and the WPT Foundation are playing for a better world when Vince and the Royal Flush Girls visit the Bell Gardens Explorers program. It's all when we return on the World Poker Tour. Stick around.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour.
Players at the Legends of Poker continued to clash as the race to the final table heated up. With the money bubble approaching, day 3 began with 84 players all looking to make a big splash at the Bicycle Casino. 63 players would make the money, but only one would hoist the WPT Champions Cup, so expectations were high.
I feel great today.
I'm not playing for the bubble money, I'm playing for the $500,000, so.
Usually do well at the bike tournaments, hoping for TV time this year.
My plan is to accumulate as many chips as possible.
I am the money bro. They better be worried about me.
And while the remaining players were getting ready to battle, Mike, Vince, Club WPT online qualifier Matt Carranza, and other prominent members of the poker community took their talents to Venice Beach.
Want another knee brace, Vinny? This is 1960s, how you wear your socks.
Hey.
Push your socks down, Mike.
Oh, get there, baby.
What kind of shot is that?
Here's the prod.
No money was won out on the court for Season 8 WPT Legends of Poker champion Fuad Friedman. But back at the bike, his wife Dee was in good shape to cash as the money bubble grew nearer. Tensions mounted as hand-for-hand play got underway.
We're only playing for $500,000.
When one player went all in, it seemed like the remaining 63 all gathered around hoping for an end to the bubble torture. All eyes were on Elio Fox, who was all in with Jack 10 against Season 7 WPT World Champion Yevgeny Timoshenko, who held pocket aces. Elio's holdings would not improve, and he would leave the Bicycle Casino empty-handed. After the money bubble burst, the players were free to mix it up.
I'm in the money. I'm going to open up now.
And just like Bhagwan said, the players loosened up and started to gamble. And though some would fall, they were not going home empty-handed.
Always somber when you bust these things.
At the end of the day, 18 players remained, but it would be Greg Mueller who would be second in command going into day 4, giving him quite the advantage.
2.4 million. It's nice to have chips. It's a lot easier to play.
On day 4, the 18 remaining players put on their game faces and took their seats to prepare for battle, all with the common goal of adding their name to the WPT Champions Cup.
I think there's some really good players left. We'll see. I think I'll actually kind of learn how good the field is as the day goes on.
Play was fast and furious as Season 9 Ones to Watch Joseph Chung was eliminated in 18th place.
Just lost a coin flip. Everyone's short stack. You gotta win those coin flips. Whoever runs the best is gonna win this thing.
And ClubWPT.com online qualifier Efren Abustan exited in 17th place, winning $18,000 and a little love from the Royal Flush Girls. But it was amateur Josh Hale who was a one-man wrecking crew as he busted Sam Barnhart in 15th place, David Marshall in 11th place, and cash game specialist Jesse Martin in 9th place.
I mean, I feel better in tournaments than I ever have before, but I'm ready to just get back to grinding cash games.
Chips continued to fly as Ali Islami, Max Steinberg, Jeff Madsen, and Ralph Malik all found crucial hands to double up. Although Greg Mueller took a big hit from Ralph Malik, he got those chips back, calling Stephen Grainer's all in on the flop.
I'm all in.
Holding ace-10 on a 10-high board. Stephen's pocket nines never improved, and he busted in 8th place. Tension was in the air with 7 players left and only 6 seats at the TV table when Jim Willerson found himself in the hot seat as he got coolered running his pocket kings into Josh Hale's pocket aces and was eliminated in 7th place on the TV table bubble. The final table was set with a bicycle casino regular, a local high-stakes cash game pro, a former hockey player, 2 talented young pros making their first WPT final table, and a headhunter from San Diego, all aspiring to become the next legend of poker. Tonight's final table of 6 players have all had some success in the poker world, but they still have something to prove, the right to be called a WPT champion. For more insight on our final table, let's turn to Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton and former tennis pro and poker expert Vince Van Patten. Mike, we've seen 2 of our final table players here before, Ali Islami and Greg Mueller. Do they have what it takes to take down this title this time?
Oh, they sure do, Kimberly. Greg Mueller and Ali Islami are the real deal on the green felt. What impresses me the most about them is that both of these guys have been successful high-stakes cash game players for a lot of years. I think their experience is going to bode well for them tonight. And Kimberly, I look for one of these 2 guys to take the title tonight.
And Vince, what does it take to become a legend of poker, in your opinion?
Oh, good question, Kimberly. To be a legend of poker, you have to be bigger than life. Take Doyle Brunson, for example, okay? He is bigger than life. The big cowboy hat, great poker player, used to ride around on a horse, now he rides around on a scooter, but nevertheless, he is bigger than life. Will the Thrill Fiala also won this event. He's a champion. The gold chains, the big personality. He's a legendary player. That's what it takes. Now, one of these guys tonight will emerge as a legend at the bike, but it's not going to be easy. This is a tough tournament to win. You've got to play very bold. You've got to play aggressive. You have got to play looser than the scrambled eggs at Denny's. This will be fun. One of them will do it.
Now, Vince, we know Josh Hale is the big chip leader at this table, but a guy that's probably not to be overlooked at the table is one of our short stacks, Jeff Madsen. Now, Jeff's only 27 years old, but when he was 21, he took the poker world by storm. The guy won 2 World Series of Poker bracelets. Now, this is his first WPT final table. We're thrilled to have him here. And right now, Jeff's gone over to talk to Matt Savage.
Jeff, it's your 52nd World Poker Tour event and your first final table. What took so long?
Man, I don't know. I've had some close calls before, last 2 tables. I don't know, I'm just playing well lately. I don't know why I haven't really broken the bubble yet, but I'm really relieved and happy that I'm finally here.
How bad do you want this win tonight?
Really bad. I mean, I've been playing professionally 6 years, and WPT is a very prestigious title, so I'm looking forward to giving it a good shot for sure.
All right, well, we'll see how you do tonight. Kimberly, back to you.
Thank you, Matt. Our first place finisher tonight will take home $500,000, which includes a seat to the season-ending WPT World Championship and have their name added to the WPT Champions Cup. The start of the WPT Legends of Poker final table is moments away. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This stuff's kind of exciting to me. I've never really done an interview or anything like that, so this stuff's all kind of new.
That's what I've been working for many years. And hopefully a stepping stone to, bigger and better things.
Everyone thinks I'm a loose cannon. Maybe it's the way I look, maybe it's just the raging chest hair.
I think the most important thing is knowing your player and knowing what's going on in their head psychologically.
And I've wanted this final table so bad. That just means that I want to win so much more.
Battle's on, and the competition is going. You do what it takes to win. And winning a WPT title would be awesome.
Welcome back to Season 11 on the World Poker Tour. We're in Los Angeles at the Bicycle Casino providing complete coverage for the WPT's Legends of Poker tournament.
Mike, this is very exciting. This is our second decade on the World Poker Tour. It's just amazing. And right now we have 6 players going after this major title. The cards are in the air. Let's go to the felt.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Josh Hale out in front with 7.3 million. Greg Mueller in second place. Ralph Malik in third place. And that's what they're playing for. The winner tonight is going to take home $500,000 in that coveted WPT title, with the opportunity to have your name engraved upon the WPT Champions Cup.
All right, Jeff Madsen first to act. He's going to fold. And now Ralph Malik out of LA also folding. Around to the ex-hockey pro. Greg Mueller, look at this. He has picked up the ladies, the pair of queens, the Fire Island hand.
The Canadian, one of the most popular players in the poker world, going to raise it up here. Makes it $135,000 to go with the queens.
Into Josh Hale, the chip leader. He's folding. And now Ali Islami, local pro, also folding. Will Greg Mueller get action with this? It's up to Max Steinberg. Nope.
He folds as well. So Greg Mueller taking down pot number 1.
That's great news.
Would have liked to have some action from him.
Mike, ever since season number 1, people have had dreams of coming out here on the World Poker Tour and making the big bucks. And we know a couple of these players that had that dream come true this week.
Well, you're right, Vince. ClubWPT.com has awarded over 75 seats into WPT tournaments worldwide. We qualified 3 players for this Legends of Poker right here this week. And 2 of these guys, Philip Smith and Efren Abustan, actually went very deep in this tournament.
That's amazing. They're amateur players, yet they did go deep. Philip, I think, finished 38th, picked up $9 grand. Efren came in 17th place and picked up $18,000. So it's amazing what you can do on the World Poker Tour.
Folks, listen. If you want your chance to live the dream like these guys did, go to ClubWPT.com, sign up for a membership, and you can play for your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes, as well as win entries out here to WPT events. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
All right, back to the table we go. First one to act in this hand will be Ralph Malik. He's 35 years old, tough poker pro, and he looks down at a pair of 9s.
Yeah, very bright guy. Got a BS from Penn State University and a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Texas.
Well, he is smart because he's figured this out. He's raised Greg Mueller out, and now it's around to our chip leader, Josh Hale.
Well, you can see he's chip leader by a little green chip stack indicator we have.
That's true. And he's got a pair of jacks, Mike.
Now he's also got the big chip lead, so my guess is he's coming over the top of the 3-bet, and indeed he is.
Yeah, repop makes it $335 to go. Ali out. Max Steinberg also out.
Around to Jeff Madsen, he folds as well. So now we're back around to Ralph Malik.
And he is desperate for this title. He says this is going to mean so much to him and his family to prove he's not just a cash game player, but a great tournament player.
Well, this hand indicates why the mid pairs are the toughest hands to play. You get one, you raise it, you get re-raised. What do you do now?
Well, he's got some chips, so he can afford to speculate. He has made this call. So Jack's up against 9s. Here's the flop.
Now flop ace-6-3. Neither player actually wants to see an ace come out. Fearful their opponent has one.
Ralph has checked it. And now, if you're Josh, you don't like the ace out there, but he's going to bet. Makes the continuation bet. $325.
Now, if you're sitting in Ralph's seat, you thought you might have had the best hand a minute ago, but now you're not so sure. But wow, he's going to make the call here with the 2 9s. Wow, he's gambling. A 5 comes off.
So both players nervous with this hand because of an ace out there. Now Ralph is going to check again.
Well, once you get called on a flop with an ace out there, you become a little cautious, as you see Josh has. He checks on the turn as well.
The card pairs the board.
The board pairs 6s.
Both players would just like to get out of this alive. Not having to spend too much more.
Check.
Ralph checks, and a quick check behind it by Josh.
Josh is going to win this bout with 2 jacks. So the chip leader adding more chips to his stack.
That is right. Josh Hale from San Diego, 31 years old. He's got the crowd behind him. He's got chips.
Got some favorites in the
Non-professional player trying to become a legend at the Legends of Poker here at the Bicycle Casino.
You know, all players want to get their name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup. One will do it tonight.
Josh Hale, he says he's an amateur. It'll be interesting to see how he's going to do under the added pressure of the audience and the lights and the cameras.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
I'm Jeannie, one of the Royal Flush Girls. You're watching Season 11 of the World Poker Tour.
Earlier this week, on behalf of the WPT Foundation, Mike, Vince, and the Royal Flush Girls visited the City of Bell Gardens Police Department and learned about their Explorer volunteer program and how it's making a difference in the community.
The bicycle casino is involved with the Explorers program, so we went down to the local police station where we got to meet the Explorers and learn a little bit more about the program that they run.
The Explore program is a national program, and our goal is to reach out to the at-risk youth in the community to not only possibly create a path to law enforcement, but also just to build character and leadership skills and interpersonal skills.
Hey, Rocio. What's up? The program is very essential. We are drawing from our youth in our community. We are putting them in a partnership with our police department, basically mentoring these kids to become better citizens of our community.
So long.
What a fantastic program for those who want to take an active role in helping their community. To learn more, log on to WPTFoundation.org. The WPT Foundation, playing for a better world. In the meantime, cards are back in the air, so let's get down to Mike and Vince.
All right, the Legends of Poker continues, and as you can see, Josh Hale is the chip leader. He's an amateur player out of San Diego. He has 8.4 million in chips.
Well, he's got the big chip lead right now, but he's got a lot of tough players to get around to get his name on that WPT Champions Cup.
All right, to the action we go. Ali Islami, an entrepreneur, a poker pro, looks down at a king jack.
Raised right under the gun here with the Kojak hand. Makes it 125,000 to go.
Young Max Steinberg is going to fold his hand, and now Jeff Madsen has picked up ace-king. What a hand.
And it's one of the two short stacks here.
All in.
And he's going to move all in with it.
Certainly is. Everyone folding. Back around to Ali. That's a lot of pressure if he's just holding king jack. Ali from L.A. Ali's second time at a World Poker Tour final table. Considering this.
All right, you got to have a pretty big hand, I guess. I think. I raised him through two shorts. There you got to have a good, really big hand. He probably have me dominated. Go.
Yeah, he does have him dominated exactly. Ali goes out. Jeff Madsen taking down that pot.
And there's Jeff Madsen's family in the audience rooting him on tonight.
WPT, the final table kind of eluded me. Right in the beginning, I got close. I got like 8th, and I got an 11th, 18th. You know, maybe I blew it one of the 2 times, and maybe I just ran bad. But, you know, I've been wanting to make it, and I just had to adapt and kind of mature into the poker player I knew I could be. Right now, I'm just kind of clear-headed and relaxed and playing at the top of my game.
Well, he's only 27 years old. He's got his opportunity here tonight.
Vince, here's a little tidbit about Jeff. One of the best rappers in the poker world.
Good to hear. Or not. Right now it's on Max Steinberg, who is pretty in pink. He's going to fold. Jeff Madsen also folding.
Ralph Malik.
Yeah, with a nothing hand here.
And he's out as well. Over to the Canadian pro, Greg Mueller. He's got the ace-3. Going to raise it on the button here. Makes it 135,000 to go.
Yep, with just ace-3. Now, Josh Hale with a jack-6 of hearts can afford to speculate. That's what he does. He's made the call.
Yeah. Calls over $100,000 more with the jack-6. So, Josh looks like he's come to play a little.
Ali goes out. So, two-handed poker. Ace-high up against jack-6. And we're flopping.
Now, flop 8-5 deuce. No help to either player.
Josh Hale is going to check. Now let's see if Greg Mueller makes the continuation bet. No, kind of surprising.
He's got the gut shot straight draw, but he checks it. Now an ace comes off. Greg now has the 2 aces, but notice it gives Josh a 4 flush.
And now Josh, first to act again. He's going to check, but a quick check behind it by Mueller with the aces.
He did want to get check raised out of this pot, and that's the reason why. A 4 comes off, gives Greg a straight.
Oh, what a card for Greg Mueller. Nothing hitting for Josh.
The only way Josh can win this pot is to bet at it, but he doesn't do it, so essentially he's just waving the flag. Whether Greg bets or not, Greg's going to win this pot.
And Josh has checked. Unless Greg is going to bet 325. And Josh apparently doesn't have any tricks up his sleeve.
And he's going out, so Greg Mueller going to take down this pot. I must say, I'm a little surprised, first of all, to ever see Greg Mueller checking 2 consecutive streets. Doesn't matter what he has.
That is the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar. And that is a great addition we have here on the World Poker Tour. If you're a Club WPT VIP member, you get preferential seating at the bar, so come join us. But back to the table we go. Ralph Malik, first to act. He's got ace queen.
He's under the gun, but certainly going to raise with this hand.
Ralph plays a lot in Los Angeles. He's 35 years old. He has popped it, makes it 125 to go.
There's Greg Mueller quickly out.
Yep, going to take a breather. Chip leader out. Ali Islami not going to play, so it is back to the man. Max Steinberg, 24 years old. He's got Jack King this time.
Well, he is the short stack of the table, as you can see by the red indicator there next to his cards.
This is his first cash ever on the World Poker Tour. And look at this. He's going to push all in with just king high.
Wow, a daring hand to push. When a guy raises under the gun, you give him credit for a pretty good hand normally.
Jeff out, and now Ralph. Pretty strong ace queen. Hard to fold this, I would think. And he is going to make the call.
Wow, that was way slower than that.
And Max Steinberg, who looks like a younger Donny Osmond.
He really does.
He does. A little bit. He's in trouble right now.
When a guy raises under the gun, Vince, you normally think he's got a pretty good hand, and not sure if you're the short stack moving in with King Jack is the wise thing to do, but let's see if Max gets lucky and wins the pot. He's going to have to stay alive in this tournament.
And get lucky on the flop. Here we go.
Well, 9-3-3.
That is not good for Max Steinberg.
Nope. Ralph Malik well out in front here with the ace high.
Max's chance of becoming a legend dangling in thin air right now. Here comes the turn. No.
7 of diamonds, so we're off to the river here. Max Steinberg needs some help, needs a king or a jack, or he's going to be our 6th place finisher.
Okay. River card coming up. Can Max get lucky here?
He's done it! That jack comes up on the river. Unbelievable good fortune for Max Steinberg. He stays alive. The dream continues.
Oh, his chance of becoming a legend has not gone away yet. Stay with us. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour. Wow.
I would say everyone is a force to be reckoned with, but I think I'm the best player at the table, so I'll probably be the biggest force.
You can't win anything on social poker sites, so people play any 2 cards. And that's not real poker. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker because we're competing for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
I love this facility here at the Bike.
The Bike is definitely a special casino to me. I think it's the first place I played. I do live the Bike here. I've commentated for them. So obviously, with players like that, the game is very beatable. I can't think of any casino that really does a show like that.
The Bike's great. I love it out here. The food's good. The games are great. I think it's the best card room in LA, to be honest with you.
I love the Legends of Poker. I love playing poker in California, period.
We are back here on the World Poker Tour at the Bicycle Casino at the Legends of Poker.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Josh Hale well out in front with about 8.2 million. Everybody else trying to track him down.
That is right. The ante's still at 10,000. Blinds are 30, 60,000. First to act, Ali Islami. And he has 10 deuce. Quick fold by him. Max Steinberg next with an 8-6. Won't play.
Over to Jeff Madsen.
Yeah, nothing hand. He goes out as well.
Ralph Malik on the button with the king 3 offsuit, opts to fold, so battle of the blinds here.
Yep, Greg Mueller. Tough cash game player. He's going to make a call.
And just calls with the queen 6 of diamonds.
But Josh Hale has an ace high, ace 9, not a bad hand.
We're going to raise in that spot like most guys would do when the guy limps into the small blind.
Yeah, makes it 135 to go, putting the pressure on Mueller. And Greg will call the raise.
Yep. Greg wants to see a flop here.
And the flop comes up queen, jack 9. That is good for Greg Mueller, hitting queens, but he's going to check.
Yep, he's got top pair. Josh has got bottom pair. It's a scary flop with bottom pair when a man calls a raise pre-flop, but Josh going to take a stab at this pot. Bets out 140,000, and as you can see, Greg Mueller quickly calling with the top pair.
And it's a continuation bet. Oh, wow. Oh, a 9.
Greg checks, and now Josh has the lead with 3 nines. Well, Vince, I think you have to bet here in this spot with that straight potential out there.
No, he's going to play it sneaky. He's checking again.
Wow, that surprises me. I
All
don't
right.
like this play. He's camouflaged, he's got 3 nines, but he could have got beat in this hand.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. He's not going to. A 4 spades on the river. And now he's going to get Greg to bet.
Well, you got a good point, Vince. 400,000 is the bet by Greg Mueller, and he
Quick
confidently
call.
turns up queens, but they're no good. And you see Greg Mueller in shock. The guy turns up 3 nines.
I have queen 6. He has 3 nines with an ace.
And Greg going to tell the audience what happened. Greg looking a little annoyed by that.
Well, he just can't believe the guy wouldn't bet on the turn with a possible straight throw out there, but he didn't, and Josh is going to take down the pot.
I didn't enter the thing thinking I would min cash or thinking I would just make the final table, thinking I would just be on TV. I entered this thing to win.
We've seen great poker action so far here in Los Angeles at the Bicycle Casino, but you should know WPT also holds main tour events that, while not part of our televised season, they are streamed live on WPT.com. In all other ways, these events are just like our televised events, meaning there's millions up for grabs, and the winners get WPT Player of the Year points, qualify for a seat into the WPT World Championship, and of course, they get their name permanently inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
That is right, Mike. Now, we kicked off season 11 in Cyprus, where Mad Marvin Ratmeyer made history by becoming the first player ever to win back-to-back WPT events after winning the season-ending WPT World Championship.
In addition to our main events, there are WPT regional events held in the United States and WPT national events that take place in the rest of the world. These WPT caliber tournaments offer accessible buy-ins, ensuring players a high-quality experience worthy of the WPT name. Since the beginning of season 11, the WPT National Tour has hosted tournaments at Mazagan Beach and Golf Resort in Morocco, Casino Gran Madrid in Spain, Casino della Valle in St. Vincent, Italy, Casino di Venezia Canagera in Venice, and La Croisette Casino Barriere de Cannes, where we saw French rap star Bruno Lopez not only bank 108,000 euros, but he also won a seat into the upcoming WPT Grand Prix de Paris, which is our next televised main event, where he's got a shot to take his poker skills to the next level.
That is right. Now, a little closer to home, a number of WPT regional events have taken place right here in the U.S. at venues including the Potawatomi Casino in Milwaukee, Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa, Derby Lane in St. Petersburg, and Seminole Casino Coconut Creek. And most recently, since we last saw our viewers, the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, where Mike Frazen won a first-place prize of $130,000.
We would like to congratulate Mike and all the winners of these terrific tournaments. To learn more about upcoming events, log on to WPT.com and click on Tour. Now let's get back to the final table here in Los Angeles.
Action over to Jeff Madsen.
Like that, kind of. Okay. Word.
Tough player out of Vegas. He's only 27 years old. He is first to play. He's got a nothing hand, and he will not get fancy with it. He folds the hand into Ralph. Ralph has an ace deuce. Doesn't play that. Greg Mueller also fading away.
So round to the chip leader on the button with the queen 10. Everybody would raise with this hand on the button as the chip leader, and he's doing just that.
Yes, he does. Make it 130 to go. Ali out. Max Steinberg, pretty in pink, with an 8-10 of clubs.
That's certainly the kind of hand you want to see a flop with, even though you're up against the chip leader. You're going to call to see a flop in this spot.
Yes, and he has. 8-10 of clubs, up against the chip leader with queen 10. And here's the flop.
King, queen 7, 2 spades.
Josh hitting queens there. Max with nothing. He's going to check.
And Josh checks right behind him here. Now a queen comes off.
Wow, Josh hits 3 of a kind once again. So beautiful. Max going to check, though. Not going to fall into any traps. And Josh has got to come out and make a bet right now. Yes, he does.
Well, 2 possible flushes on the board.
230,000, Mike.
So maybe a straight draw. Does bet. Takes down the pot.
And look at Josh. Big smile as he extends his chip lead to well over $9 million.
Rigel analyst Tony Dunst has been keeping close watch of the action we've seen tonight and is ready in Command Central to give us his detailed analysis in this edition of The Raw Deal. Tony.
I can't imagine how thrilling it must be to make the final table of your very first World Poker Tour event holding a massive chip lead. But Josh Hale knows exactly how that feels. Though I suspect he might also be feeling pretty nervous about it too. What gives me that read on our chip leader? Let's break it down. For the first few orbits at the final table, everything goes Josh Hale's way. By the time he finds himself in a blind versus blind confrontation against professional Greg Mueller, he's already increased his stack by nearly $1 million. Greg enters the hand second in chips, meaning Josh can put even more distance between himself and the field by bleeding chips off Greg. The hand begins with Greg limping in the small blind with Queen 6 of diamonds, and Josh making a standard raise with Ace 9 offsuit from the big. When Greg calls, we see a Queen Jack 9 rainbow flop. It's a coordinated enough flop that neither player can be thrilled with their holding, but anytime you have a pair in a blind versus blind battle, you know it's likely the best hand. Greg checks, and Josh makes a bet of $140,000. It's worth pointing out that this is probably a better spot for Josh to check behind. His opponent will never fold a better hand, rarely call with a worse one, and many of the holdings containing a 10 that Greg would limp call are already better than Josh's bottom pair. But if Josh is confident enough to bet his bottom pair on the flop, surely he's confident enough to bet his trips on the turn, especially with the 9 of clubs adding a flush draw. Yet inexplicably, he checks. I couldn't understand his motivation for checking back in that spot, but I figured it must be a slow play and that Josh was planning on raising the river if a safe card came off. And he couldn't have asked for a safer card than the 4 of spades. At this point, Greg is convinced that his top pair must be good, so he makes a value bet of 40% pot and hopes to get called. Here comes the raise, I thought, but a half second later, Josh's chips were on the felt for a just call. Greg confidently tables his hand, expecting to drag the pot, and struggles to keep his jaw from hitting the floor when he sees Josh's trip 9s, and left me mystified. The only explanation I could come up with was nerves. That Josh hallucinated a monster under the bed and decided he could definitely maintain his giant chip lead if he just called. That, or he didn't realize he was the one holding the monster.
Well, whether he's right or wrong, you can see he's the big chip leader right now. No doubt about it. The rest have to come from way behind to catch him.
Josh right now is the monster at the table with well over $9 million. Back to the felt we go, Ralph Malik. Make a quick fold there. Greg also getting out of the way.
Back to Josh Hale. He's out.
And now Ali.
Ali Islamic at the famed Doyle Brunson hand, the 10 deuce suited, but goes away. So it's the battle of the blinds here. And look at this, Vince. Max Steinberg has picked up 2 aces in the small blind.
The weapons of mass destruction. And he is just calling, gonna play it sneaky.
Well, he limped in the small blind.
And now Jeff Madsen with ace-3 has gone all in.
And it worked to perfection as Madsen goes all in.
Snap call, of course.
And it's the one hand that you can't stand if you're Jeff Madsen. No other hand would it be more than probably a 2-to-1 dog. Doesn't matter what his opponent had, but he is a predominant underdog, as you can see.
You can, apparently.
Couldn't have had kings or something.
Jeff Madsen, who took 52 times to get to a final table on the World Poker Tour. This is his shot tonight.
Well, Vince, he came close a couple other times. Finished 8th, 11th, 18th. But this first time in the top 6.
Here's the flop.
Yeah, flop comes 10, 8, 7. To win, Jeff's going to have to catch 3-3, but he could tie if 2 runners come to make it straight, but he knows he's heading for the door.
Here comes the turned card.
A queen, that's going to do it. Jeff Madsen drawing dead. He is going to be our 6th place finisher. Happy to see him make the final table for the first time. But unfortunately for Jeff, wasn't meant to be. Out tonight in 6th place.
Yeah, highly respected pro Jeff Madsen's going to take home $75,000. And right now, he's going over to talk to Matt Savage.
Jeff, you really never got anything going tonight. Can you talk about a little bit about your performance?
Yeah, I mean, I only had 18 big blinds to start, so, you know, my decisions were pretty straightforward. It was just kind of all in or fold situations. And the last hand, blind versus blind, I have a suited ace. If he shoves, I'm calling, so it doesn't matter that he limped. So.
Seems like your breakthrough event here on the World Poker Tour. I'm sure we're going to see some more final tables. What does it mean to have your family here behind you?
It's great. I wish I could have gone a little farther, but it's good to have them supporting me. And, you know, I know I'll be back, so I'm not too disappointed. I did what I could.
All right, we'll see you again. Kimberly, back to you.
All right, with Jeff Madsen out in 6th place, that brings us to the end of our first hour of coverage at the Bicycle Casino. So guys, have you been impressed by the play we've seen so far?
Well, Kimberly, it's been a fun night, and we've seen some good poker so far, no doubt about it. I've been especially impressed with both the play and the demeanor of Josh Hale. He was the chip leader, the lone amateur at the table, came to the final table with the chip lead, still has the big chip lead. But I really love the play of both Greg Mueller and Ali Islami. I still think one of those two guys are going to take this title.
And Vince, who should we keep an eye on when play resumes?
Well, you know, you got to keep your eye on Max Steinberg. You know, he survived a long shot. He sucked out there. Usually that says something in a tournament when you can do that. You think it's destiny? We will see.
Thanks, guys. Join us next time from Los Angeles for more of Season 11's coverage of the Bicycle Casino's Legends of Poker. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In Los Angeles, 10 players have earned the right to claim legendary status here at the Bicycle Casino. Who will be number 11? Continuing coverage of the Legends of Poker final table begins now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He would love to knock this loudmouth out.
Oh! Wow! Unbelievable!
Welcome back to the Bicycle Casino and the Legends of Poker. I'm Kimberly Lansing, and as always, I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. Gentlemen, as we begin our third hour of extended coverage here in Los Angeles, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on the drama that's unfolded this evening? Mike?
Kimberly, it's been an amazing final table. Incredible drama, as you mentioned. We've had some good plays, some good bluffs, and some big suckouts. Our current chip leader with 4 players left actually had to spike a jack on the river or a king to stay alive in this tournament. We saw another big hand where 2 players had 2 kings. Another one had ace-10. The ace came up in the turn where he sucked out to win that pot. And don't forget, big-name pros Jeff Madsen and Greg Mueller have already hit the rail. It's just been amazing so far. I can't wait to see how it comes out.
And Vince, Ali Islami has been on this seemingly unending roller coaster. Now he's short-stacked. What kind of advice would you give him? What's his next move?
Well, that's right. He's short-stacked again. My advice is get down to the 100,000 mark and then creep your way back up there. I mean, that was crazy. This has been a wild ride here at the bike. Haven't seen anything quite like this before. This is one of the good ones.
Thanks, guys. Action is about to get underway, so let's get down to the table.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Max Steinberg out in front with 6.5 million. Ali Islami on the short stack right now. That's what they're playing for. 500,000 goes to the winner, plus a coveted entry into the WPT World Championship at the end of the season and getting your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup.
Yeah, it's all on the line. Andes are 20,000. Blinds are 60 and 120. Let's go to Max Steinberg. Looks a little like Donnie Osmond, and he's our chip leader right now. And he's got an 8-6 of hearts.
Well, Max, a 24-year-old poker pro out of Washington, D.C. Could have been the first one out, caught a jack on the river to stay alive, and here he is, our chip leader. He's going to raise it right up to 350,000.
Ralph Malik, poker pro out of L.A., formerly Texas, goes out, and now Josh Hale.
Well, he's got the pair of 4s. The question is, do you re-raise with the small pair? Do you just call to see a flop? What do you do?
Josh is a working man, a headhunter recruiter down in San Diego, California, a non-professional poker player, and he's going to call with the 4s, not raise.
Makes the call. Ali Islami, top pro from LA, going out.
And we're going to see a flop.
Ace, 9, 8, 2 clubs.
Yeah, Max has hit a pair of 8s. Josh is going to check.
Looks like Max is going to bet bottom pair here.
He's only played 2 WPT events ever. His first cash, of course, here at the final table. And he's going to bet this 545.
Why am I so bad?
Well, this is Josh. It's his first ever WPT event, and he came to the final table as chip leader, and he's still here with 4 left.
Max, you benefit from the fact I play like a little girl.
He cannot compete any longer, mucks his hand, and Max Steinberg is going to take down this pot and extend his chip lead. Max also has a brother who's an identical twin, also plays poker, and now there's the Champions Cup.
All the winners in the history of the World Poker Tour have their name engraved on that trophy, and that's where you want your name engraved, folks.
Back to the table, Ralph, quick fold, and Josh now, the 7-5 of clubs.
Get those suited cards you like to see flops with.
Yeah, he's just called.
Well, he limps in, and Ali Islami now with the small pair here.
I'm on.
Ali's on the short stack, as you can see by the little red indicator next to his hand there.
That's right.
He's going all in with the small pair.
It's about that time now. Max Steinberg, our chip leader, has a very attractive king-jack of diamonds. This could be it. He might have to stick around.
Because he knows Ali's a top pro. When the guy limped in front of him, Ali could be making this move with not much of a hand.
That's right, the old squeeze play.
And therefore, Max thinking about calling here with the king-jack. He's got the chip lead. There's nothing more to take Ali out of this tournament.
Gonna make the call.
Well, he may have a chance to do it.
Josh goes out, and they show the hands.
Sorry, Ali, I can't win flip.
Well, apparently I can't get knocked out, so see how it goes.
Well, it's come down to another race at this final table. Max with the 2 overcards, Ali with the 2 deuces.
Ali Islami, he's been on Mr. Toad's wild ride here all night long. This could be over for him. Here we go with the flop. Well, Max has hit his kings just like that as King Queen 4 appears.
If I do my poker math right, that puts you at a solid favorite.
Max Steinberg hitting what he wants tonight. So far, so good. Way out in front.
The king-jack fast becoming his favorite hand in poker, that's for sure.
Here comes the turn. It's an ace. 2 outer, Mike. 2 outer.
Must catch a deuce to win the pot, Ali Islami, or he'll be our 4th place finisher.
Yeah, he has fought back so beautifully tonight. Could this be the end of his dream here?
Well, it's a 5, so that's going to do it for Ali Islami. Out in 4th place, but Vince, you have to admit the guy put up a great fight, came back from virtually nothing to get $4.5 million in chips. Unfortunately, didn't go his way after that.
Man, he was the comeback kid tonight. Almost had the dream working. He's going to take home $133,000, and right now he's over talking to Matt Savage.
Well, a pretty wild ride tonight. Big hand you lost earlier on and got down to 100,000. Back up to almost a chip lead. Tell us about it.
I mean, it was an absolutely wild ride. If this doesn't make for a good show, I don't know what will. It was great fun, and I really thought when I built back from that I had a shot to win this thing. I did have a shot, I guess, but got a little bit unlucky at the end there.
Well, you picked up a little more TV time than the last time. Mike and Vince got to say a few nice things about you. I'm sure we'll see you at another final table soon. Kimberly, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. Our 3rd hour of coverage from the Legends of Poker at the Bicycle Casino is underway, and we have a lot more to come, including a look at what fun the Royal Flush Girls have been having here. Tony Dunn gets raw as he breaks down tonight's play, and a young aspiring poker pro lets us tag along as she clocks in to her other day job in this week's edition of Ones to Watch. It's all when we return on the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Stick around.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We are in season 11 at the Legends of Poker at the Bicycle Casino, and we're having a great one. But before we get back to the table, I want to talk about our sponsor, ClubWPT.com.
Yeah, Vince, ClubWPT.com is a great way to play and learn poker by playing online. And you can play for your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes, as well as win entries out here to WPT events.
That is so true. Plus, you get VIP benefits. You get to do so many things. Plus, you get to watch the great shows on the World Poker Tour. You can watch this guy, Mike Sexton, actually play on day 101 with that horrible beat against Mattisau.
You too can enjoy all the VIP benefits, all the poker you want. Really, ClubWPT.com is a fantastic deal. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
All right, back to the action. And right now, Max Steinberg, 24-year-old, has the most chips, 9 million, up against Ralph Malek and Josh Hale. Antes have gone up to 25,000. Blinds are going to be 75, 150, Mike.
And that's what's incredible to me is the three elite players with the most experience, the high-stakes cash game players and all, were eliminated in 6th, 5th, and 4th place here. It's these three guys fighting it out for the title.
Only makes sense to me. But right now, Max Steinberg has raised, makes it 425 with his king high. And Ralph with a 9-7 of diamonds.
Just incredible. Two of these guys are playing their first ever WPT event. One's playing in his second.
Ralph is going to call this with his 9-7. And now Josh Hale, former chip leader, is also going to call with just a 6-7.
Well, he's getting priced in, so we got three-way action here. Now, flop comes King, Jack, 3.
Max spiking the kings.
Yep, great flop for Max.
And Ralph is going to check. Josh is going to check. And top pair man, will he make the continuation bet? You would think so, but interesting. Not.
Can't believe he didn't bet there, Vince.
Ace on the turn.
And there's a possible straight out there. Somebody could have 2 deuces where you give him a free card to beat you. Just shocked he didn't bet the kings, but let's see what happens.
Very surprising.
Well, again, it's going check, check to him. So now he must think the kings are good. Nobody bet when the ace hit. Nobody bet when the king hit.
Yep, and now he's going to put out 750,000 into Ralph with absolutely nothing.
And he has no hand, no draw.
2 million straight.
And he is check raising to 2 million here.
Can you believe this? Josh going out?
Well, let me tell you something about this Ralph. He is not afraid to play the game.
We saw him bluff with a 4 deuce early on and be successful with it, and he's trying it again, raising with zip and pip.
Yeah, he came over the top of the 3-bet with a 4 deuce for all his dough once. Here he's check raised to 2 million with no hand and no draw. And really, I don't know how Max can go any farther here.
Max has got to be kicking himself saying, what did I just create? I set myself up, and now I've got a horrible decision to make.
I don't understand how you can check the flop and then bet the turn.
Yeah, you're right. And he cannot call, so Ralph Malek has pulled off another huge bluff. Just a lot of guts. This is a guy that came from Texas to play poker in LA, to play in the big time, and he is doing it here tonight. He's the star at the table right now.
My confidence is almost at an all-time high, and hopefully it will get higher from here. Sky's the limit.
Well, I'm really impressed by this guy so far, no doubt about it.
And speaking of confidence, there is Joe Sirach, the Season 10 Player of the Year. He's hanging out at the Royal Flush Girls social bar. Look at him having fun, flirting with the girls. Good times. But back to the table, Mike.
Except for the weather.
Josh is going to quickly fold his hand back on Max Steinberg. Just got bluffed out of a big pot. Momentum changer, perhaps. But this time with ace high, just going to call. And now it's on Ralph. Well, I got to like this guy. Just 8-4. He's going to stick around.
I agree. You wouldn't expect this kind of play from a guy that's got a master's degree in chemical engineering. And right now, playing in his first ever WPT event, he's showing he's got what it takes, man, to get to the top.
Yep. And Max has bet this. He's betting 225 with ace high. Ralph with an inside straight draw. And he's going to speculate with a call. And now a 3 of club comes up on the turn.
Max still has the best hand with ace high. As you can see, Ralph now has the opening straight draw.
Max is going to check. And Ralph checking behind him to the river. Can Ralph hit here?
Oh,
yes!
The deuce comes off. Ralph has made a straight. Action's on Max. Now he's got 2 deuces now. Not much better than the ace high, really. He's going to check. Well, there's no way Ralph is checking. He's just trying to figure out how much can I bet to get this guy to call.
Wow. Almost play any hand. He does so, and then he makes something work out of it. This time he's betting 525. That's the beauty when you get away with a few bluffs.
Well, Vince, he gives himself a chance to win pots, either by bluffing or catching cards like he's done here.
The poker gods come back to please you. Max can't take the heat. And Ralph Malek now sprinting down the stretch here at the Legends of Poker.
As you know, for the past few seasons, we've followed young, dynamic poker pros as they begin to make a name for themselves in the poker world. One of these players lives right here in Los Angeles and has aspirations not only on, but off the felt as well, as we see in this edition of Ones to Watch.
We're the ones to watch. We're the ones to watch. Yeah, we're the ones to watch. Check it. 1, 2, WPT. Ones to watch.
I am Dee Dozier, and I am from Auburn, Alabama.
Dee is the sweetest Southern belle that I have ever met.
Dee Dozier's a really bright, funny, cool chick.
She has such a friendly, warm energy.
People would call me shy, I feel like. Just kidding. That would never happen.
I moved to LA about 10 years ago. I absolutely love it here. It gives me the opportunity to pursue both my passions, music and poker, all in one city.
Okay, I think up until this summer, my reputation as a poker player was just, oh, she's just this dumb girl that plays poker and laughs a lot. I used to talk a lot at poker tables.
Yes! Oh, I have a lot to learn, but I'm having a good time. That's all that matters.
But this summer, I think I committed to it. I really committed. I lived with 2 poker players all summer, Taylor von Kriegenberg and Mike Sowers. Like, you have to pay attention. You have to constantly pay attention and be watching people and learning from them. And now I'm just very focused.
Now, is this your first cash on the Yes, it is! Yay! Sorry, that's really loud.
Yeah, I finally had a good year. I finally made some money. If I'm not playing poker, I'm making music. That's just what I love to do.
Dee has the most angelic voice.
I love music. I love it. I love making music. I think it taps into a part of me that I don't share with people on a day-to-day basis. When I am in a recording studio, I feel so much happiness. And then we lay the guitar, and then we lay the piano, and then I do my vocals, and then I come in and do background vocals. And they edit it, and I get to hear it for the first time.
I'm in heaven, an underwater rave. Oh, so don't you run from me. Thank God I'm your fantasy. La 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 love you. La 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 love you.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote that song? I wrote that? It makes me feel complete, like I have purpose, you know?
I think creative types are some of the best poker players.
She has that artistic drive to her.
And someone who is a very artistic background, they may do something at a poker table, to me, seems so like it's lacking logic, but really it's so much a higher level than I can understand. And so those creative thinkers are usually your toughest opponents to play against.
Grammy or poker title? Don't make me do it, I can't choose.
You're my little love shoe. You're my number 1, never be my number 2. I love you so.
I'm Tuba, one of the Royal Flush Girls. Stick around for more of the World Poker Tour.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
I'm Brittany, I'm a Royal Flush Girl, and I'm at the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles having a blast. This entire week has been awesome. The Bicycle Casino is beautiful. It's got an awesome poker room. We had a chance to play Ultimate Texas Hold'em, which was so cool. The Club 21 girls wear these pretty dresses. I've never seen dealers all fancy and pretty. I got some pretty good hands, and it's so easy to win money.
Oh my cards!
We stepped away from the tournament floor to play a round of golf.
Yeah, I'm better than some of these poker players.
That's good, that's good. Thank you!
Rio Hondo's beautiful golf course. We couldn't have asked for a better time in LA.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour and the Legends of Poker.
Dwight Pilgrim, please report to the driving range immediately.
Oh, boy. I'm not sure he should even go there, Vince. Maybe golf is just not his game. Stick to poker, Dwight.
All right, back to the table we go at the Bicycle Casino. And right now, 3 players with almost the same amount of chips. Amazing contest we have here tonight at the Legends of Poker.
Certainly anybody's game, no doubt about it.
Action on Ralph Malik. He's got 7-5 of diamonds.
And we know this guy's a very creative player. We've seen that time and time again tonight. And he's going to raise here to 300,000.
Josh Hale now, the recruiter, the headhunter by profession from San Diego with a queen 5 of clubs, is making the call. And now Max Steinberg.
Well, 825,000 in the pot, cost him another 150 to call, so he's getting priced in. He's going to call, so we have three-way action.
They are splashing around here as we go down the stretch here. Jack 10 deuce on the flop helps no one. And Josh is going to check.
Check, check. And check.
Ralph will not make the continuation bet. A queen of diamonds. That's good for Josh. He's hit top pair. But Josh is going to check. Max checking.
And Ralph checks as well.
Okay.
Just surprised neither one of the 7 highs would bluff at the pot. It's the only chance they have to win it is to bluff at it.
3 of hearts on the river. Josh going to check again.
And again checking the 2 queens. Going to give one of these guys a chance to bluff at it.
Come out wherever
but
you are.
But they just waved the flag.
Yeah.
And good for them for doing so, because Josh would have called him with 2 queens and they would have lost some money. But Josh taking down that pot.
The non-professional from San Diego. First time ever on the World Poker Tour, Josh Hale.
You guys are the best. You always know. It's so amazing to me.
Getting close to becoming a legend here at the Legends of Poker.
I'm not scared to play any of these guys, but it is kind of a mental game, wondering what they think of me. I assume these guys probably have some kind of respect for my game now, so I'm not sure I can represent playing the bad amateur anymore, but I'll try.
Well, it's hard for the bad amateur theory to work when you're down to the final 3 of a WPT event, Vince. People know you got to be able to play some or you wouldn't get this far.
Oh, he can play a lot. Guy's a very clever player. I'm impressed. And right now, Max Steinberg first up to act. He's got ace-7, 24-year-old. This is only his second WPT event, his first cash, of course.
I'm going to raise on the button here with the ace-7.
And Ralph finally going to fold a hand.
425,000.
And Josh with the jack-9 will make this call. So ace-7 in against jack-9.
Josh trying to hit some kind of flop. Let's come ace-queen-jack. So Josh has flopped bottom pair, but unfortunately for him, Max has flopped top pair.
Josh is checking, and Max looks like he's getting out the continuation bet. He's hit his aces. He's going to push in 425,000. Josh Hale, though, will make this call.
Josh just wants to test the water one more time and see what happens.
6 of spades on the turn, helping neither player.
Action on Josh. He checks again.
Max is going to give him a free card, but it's okay if you're Max. 3 of clubs on the river. Josh going to check.
A possible flush and a possible straight draw out there. Surprised Max checked on the turn, but it's obvious he's now got the best hand when his opponent checks again on the river.
Max is going to bet now 650,000 as a little value bet, and he's going to get called off.
Well, Josh hoping he's got something like 9-10 where he's drawing it up and down straight. That's not the case. He's got the aces. And again, Josh not thrilled with the way he played that hand.
Well, he had a feel, but Max wasn't that strong. He was incorrect that time, and he has to pay for it. We're in the wee hours here at the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles. What an event we've seen all week long. Action on Ralph Malik, 35-year-old, first WPT event ever. He plays with almost anything, and this time with a jack, 6 of spades is going to raise to 300,000. Josh is folded, and now Max with an ace-jack is just going to call.
I'm surprised he doesn't raise here, knowing a guy could raise with a lot of different hands on the button.
Well, the flop comes up 10-9 deuce.
Max has nothing now, though. His opponent bets here are going to be hard to continue with ace high.
Max with his ace high is just going to check, and Ralph with nothing is going to make the continuation bet of 325.
And look at this. Max just feels like his ace-jack is the best hand, and it is.
Yeah,
he has made the call. Pretty incredible.
Turn card is a king of hearts.
Well, both players have a gut shot straight draw. Queen would give him a straight, of course. Give Max the best hand possible, but again, goes check, check here.
Yep, Ralph not going to push there, and down to the river we go.
Oh, the queen comes off.
Holy mackerel.
This is going to spell trouble for Ralph. He's made the king high straight. Unfortunately, his opponent's made the ace high straight.
Oh, man, Max has the nuts.
Well, he is going to lead out and bet.
He's got a guy that has, oh, man, this could be very, very interesting. Max is going to lead 900,000, Mike.
And now, even if you're sitting in Ralph's seat here, you're thrilled that you made the king high straight. But if you think rationally, you know a raise is not going to do you any good because there's no chance your opponent's going to call you unless you're beat. I mean, unless he's got a jack in his hand, which means you're not gaining any value.
Oh.
But he's doing it. He is betting $3 million here. And now you know Max is going to go all in, obviously, with the best hand possible. He is just licking his chops right now.
I'm all in.
There he goes. He is going all in, and now Ralph has put himself in a horrible place.
Well, Vince, it's pretty easy if you think about it.
And he's calling it.
It's a bad mistake by Ralph here.
It's going to break Ralph.
Cost him the tournament, Vince. He's gone out in third place.
He was playing the best at the table all night long.
He compounded his mistakes in that hand. You shouldn't raise even though you made the king high straight there because your opponent can never pay you off unless you got a jack in his hand.
Absolutely right.
When he raises you back, he must have an ace jack. You have to have the discipline to throw the jack high away, the straight away. He didn't do it, and he's out.
That's how it goes.
All right, well, he's got to be a third-place finisher, going to pick up 192,000. He's in a total state of shock, and right now, he's talking to Matt Savage.
Ralph, kind of a tough ending to an incredible night for you. All of these players, to a man, said that you were one of the toughest to read, a player that they never knew where you were at. What do you think?
You know, I'm new to the live, tournament scene. I've been playing cash games for a while and then online. But yeah, a lot of these people, don't know me. And, hopefully I can keep playing some of these and continue to have some success. Appreciate it.
Well, I really think you earned a lot of respect here tonight on the final table. And I'm sure we're going to see you again on the World Poker Tour. Congratulations.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Kimberly, back to you.
That'll do it for Ralph Malik, who's out in third place. We're now heads up with Josh Hale and Max Steinberg getting ready to battle for the title. Heads up action from the Legends of Poker is next on the WPT.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
My nickname is number 2 because I'm an identical twin and I was the second twin out. And there's also other reasons. I kept getting second in tournaments that I would play, but now it's just a total joke because I won a bracelet this summer. I'm not number 2 anymore, number 1 now. Hopefully number 1 today too.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
Out come the beautiful Royal Flush girls. Angelique, Brittany, Jeannie, and Tuba. They're putting out the cold hard cash on the table, Mike.
And a lot of money it is. The runner-up tonight going to get about $300,000. The winner's going to take home $500,000, get an entry into the WPT World Championship at the end of the season, as well as get his name engraved on that WPT Champions Cup, where he'll be alongside the legends of the poker world.
Oh boy, 11 years at the Bicycle Casino. It's coming down to this event right now. Who will be the champion? We will see in just a few moments.
Heads up action here. The Legends of Poker is about to get underway between Josh Hale and Max Steinberg. During the break, Matt Savage had a chance to speak with both players.
Josh, you started the final table today with a huge chip lead, and now you're short stacked, but you got heads up. How are you feeling going into this heads up match?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm happy to be here and looking forward to maybe be on the right side of a cold deck here against my buddy Max.
Are you going to quit your job if you win today?
No, I like what I do, but this will definitely be fun for the hobby, yeah.
We're here with Max Steinberg. He started off the final table as a short stack. Now you're the chip leader. And going into this, you said you were the favorite to win this tournament. Why?
I would say I said I was the favorite. I just thought if I got a few chips that I felt like I was the best player at the table and that I could do some good things, and that's what I've done.
Do you think that validates you a little bit, maybe, takes you to the next level and where you go from here?
I don't need anyone else to validate me. I validate myself. I know that I'm a great player, and so that's enough validation for me. So I don't really care.
Confidence, I like it. Good luck to you, heads up.
Thank you, thank you.
Pretty astounding that it's come down to the two guys. One came to the final table with the big chip lead. The other came to the final table in last place. And now the guy who came in last place has a 3-1 chip advantage over the other guy playing for the title.
Max Steinberg is the chip leader with 13.8 in chips. Josh down to about 4.8. Winner's going to take home 500,000. Runner-up about 300. And now the antes are 25,000, but the blinds are up to 1 and 200,000. Here we go. Max to look down first to act. He's got a nothing hand. But does he have the guts to raise with it? Apparently, yes. Makes it 500,000.
These guys have got Wild Bill Hickok sweating their play here, man.
Yes, they
That
do.
trophy.
Now look at this. Josh with ace-queen just says all in, and that's going to work very nicely in hand number 1 of the heads-up battle.
With intense action and a couple of missteps, it's that time of the night where we turn to our raw deal analyst Tony Dunst for some chalk talk on the play we've seen thus far in this edition of the Raw Deal.
If you just tuned in, you might be wondering how exactly Max Steinberg has such a substantial chip lead going into heads up. Has he been crushing the final table all night, or was he just the guy that ran the best? As it turns out, Max's lead is partially the result of his thoughtful play, and partially the result of a huge gift he received from the guy who moments ago was second in chips. Let's break it down. With 40 blinds to start the hand, Ralph Malik raised Jack-6 of spades on the button, and Max made the call from the big blind with ace-jack. The flop and turn play were pretty straightforward, but it's the river where things get exciting. Both players make a straight when the queen of clubs rolls off, but Max makes the nuts with the ace-high straight. He fires a healthy bet of 900,000 into 1.4 million, and after thinking it over for a moment, Ralph raises to 3 million, leaving himself only 2.1 million behind. Max takes a moment so he doesn't appear overexcited, then moves in. At that point, Ralph knew something was wrong, but he had invested 2/3 of his stack in the hand, and he had the second nuts in a spot where it's difficult for his opponent to have the nuts. So he decided to call the rest off and was eliminated as a result. But Ralph's major mistake in the hand was the initial river raise. With 4 to a straight on the board, Max will fold every time he has worse, call every time he ties, and raise the few times he has the nuts, meaning Ralph can't actually get any value by raising this river. Worse yet, he could call this river and still be tied with Josh Hale, but instead he's gifted Max the chip lead and ensured himself a $300,000 pay cut. So remember, don't just raise because you have a strong hand. Take a moment and think about what worse hands call you. And if you can't come up with one, you're about to spew.
Well, Tony got that one right on the raw deal, that's for sure. Totally agree. And even if you do raise with the king high straight, you must have the discipline to throw the hand away when your opponent moves all in over the top of you, because he can only raise there with an ace-jack.
All right, let's get back to this battle, though, because right now, Max Steinberg with a king-jack this time. He's going to raise it to $500,000. But Josh from San Diego, non-professional, with an ace-3 behind him.
Well, ace high, strong hand, playing heads-up poker. Just how strong?
I'm all in.
Wow, he has gone all in. And that is going to put huge pressure on Max right there, because Max knows he's got a nice chip lead now, but if he plays this pot and loses it, his opponent will have the chip lead.
Sorry, it didn't work out.
Well, that is a lot of pressure, and it is going to work for Josh Hale. First time ever on the World Poker Tour, and he's shining here tonight as his fans get excited. Pushing his man out with just ace high. Well done.
Well, Max playing in only his second WPT event, so inexperience prior to getting in this WPT event, seemingly not a factor for these guys.
All right, back on Max. Takes a look down at a queen-6. He's got the button. Blinds are 100 and 200,000 with a $25,000 ante. And Max has raised to 500,000. Josh with a queen deuce of hearts has called.
And he quickly makes the call, wants to see a flop, and it's come 10-10-6. Josh checks the flush draw. Max has hit a pair of sixes. He's going to bet, but Josh has got the 4 flush.
You love that 10 of clubs, don't you?
I would expect some fireworks there. But this could be the check raise, Vince, for sure, with the flush draw.
It's 550 to call. Or do you want to get dangerous and make a push here? If you're Josh with the 4 flush, he's looking back at his cards. What does that say?
I'm all in.
He says all in.
It says he's going all in. Well, now, if you're Max, you got to sort out that he look back, see if he had a 10 or if he had 2 hearts. If he think he had 2 hearts and you're looking to gamble, you might want to go with the 2 sixes.
On top of my bet.
He's analyzing the table talk. And he's going to make this call.
Wow, he made the call with 2 sixes. Didn't think he'd re-raise all in if he had 3 10s. Would just call or make a smaller raise. But because he went all in, I'm certain that's the reason Max called him there, thinking his sixes were the best hand right now. Well, they shake hands, but Josh needs to hit a heart to stay alive.
Legends to be made right now.
If Josh wins this pot, he'll be the chip leader in this heads-up battle.
Here we go with a turn.
4 diamonds comes off.
Oh, boy.
Max Steinberg's got to dodge 1 more card to become WPT champion. He's just got to dodge a queen or a heart.
And don't forget, he started as the low stack, the short stack at this table. What a comeback this would be. He's 1 card away from this championship. Here we go, Mike.
Everybody on their feet. Here comes the river card.
And the river card.
It's a heart. Josh Hale gets to sit back down with the chip lead. Wow. Well, Vince, you just wonder about some kind of fitting justice there. Max Steinberg stayed alive with 6 players left when he had to hit a river card to stay alive. Josh Hale doing it right there to stay alive as well.
It is never easy on the WPT. Stay tuned. The heads-up battle will continue from the bike. We're coming back for more on the World Poker Tour.
People don't play real poker on social poker sites because there's nothing to win. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes each month. It's real poker for real players. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Bicycle Casino and WPT's coverage of the Legends of Poker. The race for the Season 11 WPT Player of the Year is already in full swing, and tonight's champion will leap into the top spot on the leaderboard, overtaking both Anthony Gregg and Marvin Rettenmeyer, as they'll earn 1,200 points for their victory. We will be keeping an eye on the standings all season long, but now it's time to get back to the call of the action with Mike and Vince.
Well, there you see the chip count. Josh Hale now the chip leader with about a 2-to-1 chip advantage over his opponent, Max Steinberg.
Yeah, things have turned around here at the bike. To the hand we go. Josh now with a pair of 9s, just like that.
Well, hitting some cards right now, and what a time to hit them. Playing heads up for a WPT title.
It's going to make it 500,000 to go. Max going to peek down at a King 7 offsuit. He has got to be stinging from that last hand.
Yeah, he's been tripping over himself a little bit here in this heads-up battle. Nothing seemingly going right for him so far.
He's just 1 card away from a championship.
Wow.
Now he's going to raise with the King 7.
Yeah, like 1.3 million. Vince, I think with 2 9s, you just ship it.
He's going to look back down, and there he goes, all in.
Yeah, if the guy's got a bigger pair than you, he's just got a bigger pair.
And that is too much heat. Mike mucks his hand.
So another 1.3 million. Max wilts away there. Well, Josh Hale on quite a roll in this heads-up battle, but Vince, he is holding over the other guy, definitely getting a good run of cards at the right time.
All right. Play goes to Max this time. He picks up ace high, just at ace 3. Caps his cards. And he's going to press. Makes it 500,000.
Josh with yet another pair. You're only supposed to get a pair once out of 17 deals playing Hold'em. And just had 2 9s the last pot. Picks up 2 6s this pot. But this time just opts to call. Going to see a flop.
All right, mixing his game up pretty well. Let's see if it works for him.
And flop comes 8 deuce deuce. Josh out in front with the 2 6s. He's going to check.
Now Max, of course, not hitting anything there.
Well, but Vince, you think the ace high probably the best hand here?
Yeah.
Think your opponent would have re-raised you if he had a pair in his hand? So I don't blame him for betting here. His opponent could easily have something like Queen 10. You hate to give him a free card to beat you.
Oh yeah, continuation bet in order right now. And he's going to bet and a re-raise. All in, of course, by Josh. He's trapped him.
Well, Max cannot call again, I don't think. What can he really beat here? Except a possible flush draw, but...
You have an 8, I guess. Actually, I don't guess. I think you have an 8.
Pretty close. About the same thing.
Not quite.
Yeah, you definitely have an 8.
Okay, definitely wrong, but a good lay down.
Yep.
And Josh Hale's going to take down another one.
Really widens that chip lead. Now has over 15 million in chips. Max down to just about 3 million. So let's see if Max can turn things around the way Josh did. Incredible. Another big pair here for Josh. This time 2 jacks.
Chris. And he is going to make it 550 to go. But Max has a super hand himself. Goes all in with ace-king.
Well, all in and a snap call, of course. Doesn't matter who you are. If you pick up either one of these hands playing heads-up poker, you're going to get your money in the middle and hope for the best. Max in a race situation for his tournament life. Remember before,
Pretty one.
with 6 players left, he had to catch a king or a jack on the river to stay alive. Now he's got to win a race to stay alive. Let's see if he can do it.
I'm having so much fun. I want to keep playing. All right. Ace in the door? No. Ooh.
Now it's come 8, 8, 9.
Well, that's good for
So
Josh.
far, so good for Josh.
He is out in front with the jacks.
He's just got to dodge an ace or a king.
Can he do it? The non-professional
2 running 8s would also win it, obviously, for Max. But
got this tournament in a $400 satellite with a huge chance here.
the 5 comes off. We are down to the river card. Max Steinberg needs to catch an ace or a king on the river to stay alive.
Otherwise, we have a new legend here, Mike, at the bike. Here we go to the river. They are chanting his name. Josh Hale, 1 card away from being our champion.
It's a jack. Josh Hale's made jacks full on the river.
Incredible.
To take down the hand and become the Legends of Poker champion.
And Josh Hale getting mobbed by the Halebirds as our runner-up, Max Steinberg, over to talk to Matt Savage.
Max, it's never easy. 1 card away from being the World Poker Tour champion at the Bet Legends at Bike. What's your thoughts right now?
I'm just happy with my results. I mean, if I went into this knowing that I was going to get second, I'd take it every time. So I'm happy with what I got, and Josh is a great player, and I felt like I played very well, and the card's good.
Well, you gotta love the attitude, Max. Congratulations. I'm sure we're gonna see you again.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
All right, back to you guys.
Josh, I got to tell you, that was about a big ebb and flow of a final table on the World Poker Tour as we've ever seen. But I got to ask you a question. This is your first ever WPT event. You got in here by winning a $400 satellite. Did you really think on day 1 that you had a shot to win this poker tournament and become the Legends of Poker champion?
Of course, Mike.
I like a man with confidence. Well, Josh, I'll tell you, a terrific performance you put on, not just at the final table, but all week long. Terrific. In addition to the $500,000 in cash and your $25,000 entry into the WPT World Championship,
you get your name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup with all the great players in the history of the World Poker Tour.
Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time. Josh Hale, Legend of Poker champion from San Diego, California. Kimberly, back to you.
What an incredible journey. He came to this final table as the chip leader, and he leaves as a champion. Congratulations to Josh Hale, the Season 11 WPT Legends of Poker champion. Join us next time as we travel to Paris and the Aviation Club de France for the Grand Prix de Paris. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight in Paris, history is on the line as a former champion goes for his second title here at the Aviation Club in France. To do so, he'll have to battle through a tough international final table to become the first player ever to win the same event twice. The Season 11 Grand Prix de Paris starts now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He would love to knock this loudmouth out.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Paris and the Aviation Club de France. In the history of the WPT, no Champions Club member has been able to repeat their success in the same tournament. Now, several have tried, including Gus Hansen, Daniel Negreanu, and Antonio Esfandiari, but all have come up short. Tonight, Season 9 Grand Prix de Paris champion Theo Jorgensen goes for his second title and a chance to write his name in the record books. Now, making this final table alone was no easy task. When it started 5 days ago, the field was stacked with some of the best players in the world. Plus, with its re-entry format, several of them took 2 shots at a chance to become the Season 11 Grand Prix de Paris champion.
Players, merci to all of you for your continued support of the World Poker Tour, and bon chance in your quest to make it to the final table. Dealers, let's shuffle up and deal.
To give players the chance to re-enter if they busted, the Aviation Club split day 1 into 2. A surprise that even defending champion Matthew Waxman was unprepared for.
It's going to go to the loo, but apparently you can play both days, and it would be kind of foolish of me not to play both.
The Grand Prix de Paris is always a who's who of international pros, and for Season 11, the Americans arrived en masse.
Bonjour.
Some of who took 2 shots of making it to day 2. 2 late arrivals were good friends Season 8 Player of the Year Faraz Jaka and Season 9 Foxwoods finalist Mohsen Sharania, who had plans to play the event, but that's as far as the plan went.
I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight. The plan was to figure it out at the end of the day, but now I think me and my roommate Faraz Jaka are going to go find a hotel room during our dinner break.
This year's event also brought out the most notorious player to ever final table in Paris, Tony Chi.
I'm gonna rip you apart so hard. Surinder Suna, where is he now? You know, I'm looking for him. He's not here. He's nowhere to be seen. I'm still here, going strong.
When the remaining players from both Day 1 heats were combined, 143 players were still alive out of the 228 total entrants. Local player Jacques Angebol was at the top of the chip counts with over 225,000. French poker pro Anthony Lelouch in second place, and Champions Club member and Season 4 Grand Prix de Paris runner-up Juha Helppi in fifth with over 96,000.
It's day 2 of the Grand Prix de Paris.
With the Champions Cup on the line, players took their seats and settled in for a long day of poker. American poker pro Brian Collin came into the day with just 34,000 in chips and looked to be having trouble getting things going early on. But that momentum would change when he cracked Casey Castle's pocket aces to become one of the bigger stacks in the field.
Yes, I am the donkey.
Some French guys have been kind of like talking trash, so I wanted to mess him up all day. I don't know, but he kept playing back at me, and it's the first time I got a hand against him. And I had queens, and we went all in. He had aces for like the 6th time today, so I kind of just thought he might be messing around, and he wasn't. But I managed to get a lucky straight on the river, so to double me up.
Another player with some day 2 mo was Mr. Tirania, who had found a place to stay and was putting his time in Paris to good use, amassing chips and playing solid poker. But day 2 would be the end for 80 players, including Season 10 Grand Prix de Paris winner Matt Waxman, 2-time WPT champion Marvin Rettenmeyer, and Season 9 WPT Championship winner Scott Sieber, to name a few. Despite Brian Collins' strong run, it wasn't enough to capture the top chip position for the day. That honor went to German pro Philip Philbort Grisham, who finished with over $280,000. In 3rd place, Hollywood writer-producer Matt Salzberg ended with almost $230,000.
I had deuces 3 times, and I made sets 3 straight times with them. So it's been going good.
Day 2 ended with a field of 63, among them top pros such as former Once to Watch Jason Mercier, Andrew Lichtenberger, and Faraz Jaka. Plus 2 former Grand Prix de Paris champions still in the field, Theo Jorgensen and David Benjamin. Only 6 would make it to the televised final table and have a shot at the title.
Who will make it and be crowned champion of the Grand Prix de Paris? Find out when our extended coverage of the playdown to the final 6 in Paris at the Aviation Club de France continues right after this.
You know, sometimes you want to work on your poker game without worrying about risking any money. That's why we love to play on ClubWPT.com, where we can play as many tournaments as we want without the fear of going broke. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Paris and the World Poker Tour's coverage of the Aviation Club de France's Grand Prix de Paris. Days 3 and 4 saw the clash of some of the best players in the world and some unexpected bust-outs as the race to the final table continued.
While Vince and the Royal Flush Girls took in the French countryside to visit an animal rescue center representing the WPT Foundation, play got underway for the start of Day 3 at the Aviation Club. The 63 players who survived were a mix of top pros and amateur hopefuls looking to become the next player to etch their name on the WPT Champions Cup. Early in the day, acting as a one-man wrecking crew was Matt Salzberg. Matt, a writer and producer for the Showtime series Weeds, was making the best of his first visit to the Aviation Club.
Today is like absurdly good so far. Flopping sets, making some flushes. It's just been a really sick day. I busted Fabrice, ace-queen suited against ace-queen suited. I popped a flush. That was pretty sick. Then I flopped a set against Benjamin and got it in against him. And then I busted Tony G in a flip, ace-king against queens. I binked an ace. Just been making a lot of hands, you know?
Now they're afraid of you.
Yeah, they're pretty. I've been showing a lot of nines, so yeah.
Only the top 27 players would cash in Paris, and the field quickly diminished throughout the day. On the edge of the bubble, some players tend to tighten up and hope that another player in the field will be the unfortunate one to bust just short of the money. Jason Mercier isn't one of those players. After raising pre-flop with 4 deuce of hearts, he continued to play his hand aggressively after hitting bottom pair and an inside straight draw on a board of ace 3 deuce. His opponent, Frenchman Raphael Abitbol, holding ace-queen for a pair of aces, was put to the test when Jason went all in on the draw-heavy turn. After tanking for a considerable time, Raphael made the call and was relieved to see he had the best hand. He still had to fade a deuce 4-5 or any heart on the river to win the hand. To his amazement, he did, and crippled Jason's stack. Fortunately for Jason, he was able to hang on and avoid being the bubble boy. That honor went to early chip leader Anthony Lelouch, whose pocket kings ran into Brian Collins' pocket aces. Jason busted shortly after in 27th place. He was followed by Season 10 LAPC champion Sean Jazzieri in 26th place, eliminated by reigning Player of the Year Joe Sirach, who had an up-and-down day 3.
I did make the money. I wasn't sure if I was going to.
When play ended for the day, 24 players remain, including French rapper Bruno Lopez in 4th place, Matt Salzberg in 2nd place, and still in the chip lead, Philip Grisham, the only player to crack the million chip mark. On day 4, another busy day took place along the Champs-Élysées, both on and off the felt. The final 24 players were a good mix of young American poker pros, Kyle Julius, Brian Collin, Mohsen Charania, and Andrew Lichtenberger. 2 international pros, Germans Fabian Quass and Philip Grisham. 2 Champions Club members, each with past history at the Aviation Club, Grand Prix de Paris winner Theo Jorgensen, and Season 4 runner-up Juha Helppi. And they were just a few of these remaining players. Fabian Quass made the first splash of the day when he knocked out Andrew Lichtenberger. Andrew went all in with king-queen offsuit and was called by Fabian's pocket trays. The tray on the flop gave Fabian a huge lead. An 8 of clubs on the river sealed the deal and sent Andrew packing. Matt Salzberg continued his day 3 dominance, knocking out Juha Helppi in 20th place and French pro Jean-Philippe Rouard in 19th place. These pots also catapulted Matt into the chip lead, which drew the attention of Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten, who had stopped by to check out the action. Theo Jorgensen also found his groove, knocking out Kyle Julius and Florian LeCant to move up the chip counts. Brian Collin, one of the early chip leaders in this tournament, finally met his match against Canadian Timothy Adams. Brian's ace-6 could not improve against Timothy's ace-queen, and Brian was eliminated in 15th place. Timothy also busted French singer Gregoire Boissonneau in 11th place. In one of the biggest hands of the tournament, Joe Sirac put almost his entire stack into the pot pre-flop and was called by Theo.
One.
He still had about 40,000 held back, which led to a little ribbing from Theo.
It's going to be hell of a comeback if you fold and win this one.
But with so much committed, Joe had no choice but to put the rest in on the flop, and saw that his ace-3 was crushed by Theo's ace-king. Last year's Player of the Year, Joe Sirac, failed to improve and was knocked out in 10th place to pick up some Player of the Year points in just the 4th event of Season 11. The winner of this event will take home 1,200 points and be tied atop the Season 11 leaderboard with Legends of Poker champ Josh Hale. When we reached the television final table bubble, one hand gave new meaning to the term nosebleed stakes. In a pot against Matt Salzberg, Timothy Adams was put to a decision on the river after Matt led out with a $45,000 bet. Timothy went into the tank when his nose actually started bleeding. While simultaneously addressing his medical issue, Timothy threw out a raise of $125,000. Matt quickly folded, and then Timothy tabled pocket deuces for the stone-cold bluff to the shock of everyone.
I figured he can be bluffing there with the blood pouring out of his nose.
The best move I've ever seen.
Like, I figure he can never be bluffing there, right?
Unbelievable. That's got to be, I bow down for that one.
The TV table bubble busted when French player Jerome Duieb's ace-queen ran into Matt's ace-king. The final table of the Grand Prix de Paris is always comprised of a very international mix of players, and tonight is no exception. Most surprising is that for the first time, no French player is seated among the final 6. For more insight on our final table, let's turn to Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton and former tennis champ and poker expert Vince Van Patten. Mike, how impressed are you with this final table?
Well, Kimberly, I'm very impressed with the players at tonight's final table. 5 out of 6 of these players have won big-time tournaments around the world. And the other guy is Matt Salzberg from LA, and he's our chip leader. Certainly the guy starting out in 2nd chip position, Mohsen Charania from Chicago, is no stranger to the World Poker Tour. He has made 2 final tables. But the big story tonight is Theo Jorgensen from Denmark. Theo is looking to win this event for the 2nd time, and no player in the history of the World Poker Tour has won the same event twice. So, Kimberly, we've got a bit of poker history possibly in the making tonight.
We do, and Vince, of course we love it here. What makes the Aviation Club so special?
Well, Kimberly, it reeks of poker history. There are statues in the hallways of poker players in pain, all you hear throughout the club are loud French accents with bad beach stories. It is incredible. But tonight we have something else that's incredible. We have a player, Theo Jorgensen, going after his second WPT title at the same place, never been done. And he's ready to talk about his good luck charm, his father.
Well, there was big doubts about whether he was a lucky charm or he was a jinx, but 2 years ago he proved that he was the lucky charm, so it's pretty vital he's here.
Thank you, Theo. Such a nice guy and very humble, too. Our first place finisher tonight will take home over $500,000, including a seat to the season-ending WPT World Championship, and have their name added to the WPT Champions Cup. And later, we find out what poker means to the Season 11 ones to watch. The start of the Grand Prix de Paris final table is moments away. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Texas Hold'em takes just a few minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. That's why we created the WPT Poker Trainer that lets you work on your game anytime you want, from anywhere you want, on your iPhone or iPad. Download your copy today. Welcome back to Season 11 on the World Poker Tour. We're in Paris at the beautiful Aviation Club de France for the final table of the Grand Prix de Paris.
Yes, Mike, it is great to be back at the Aviation Club where the different cultures clash at the poker table. We are definitely not in Kansas anymore. The cards are ready, they're being shuffled and dealt. Let's go to the felt.
Well, we started 4 days ago with 228 players. We're now down to these 6. There you see our chip leader, Matt Salzberg from the U.S., the lone amateur at the table. Winner tonight will take home over 400,000 euros and get a coveted entry into the WPT World Championship at the end of the season.
Now the ante's going to start at 2,000. The blinds are 8 and 16,000. First to act, Timothy Adams from Canada, and he's going to look down at a Jack-10. All right, Timothy with a quick fold, and now it's around to Mosin. He's going to fold his hand. Matt Salzberg, the Hollywood producer, writer of the show Weeds, has a pair of 4s, Mike. He's a chip leader, and he's going to pop this. Makes it 35,000 to go.
Well, tough German pro, Philip Grissom out. Around to Theo Jorgensen. Highly respected guy from Denmark. Won this tournament a couple years ago. Looking to take this title for the second time tonight.
He's got a huge hand, ace-king, and he re-raises. He makes it 85,000 to go. Fabian Quas out. Back on Matt. He's going to make the call with the 4s.
Vince, I got to ask you, I know you're a little superstitious, and one thing you don't like is the way they turn the flop over here in Europe, where they do it one card at a time. You'd like to see them all at one time.
I like one big plunge.
If I had my preference, I'd take them all at once, but I don't let the one card at a time bother me while I'm over here.
Let's see. First hand, good action. Flop comes up, Jack, Jack, 6. Timothy would have hit a Jack there. He's a little sickened by that.
Theo going to make the continuation bet. But as you can see, Matt quickly calls him.
Nice call by Matt Salzberg, the so-called amateur at the table from Hollywood. Here comes the turn card.
Well, a 10 comes up.
Oh, that just makes Timothy Adams a full house, so he's completely disgusted. And Theo's going to slow down with his ace high. And Matt also going to check behind him, going to the river.
The 3 comes off. Nice card for Matt. Got the best hand with Jackson 4s. Action on Theo.
Yeah, but if he sticks in a big bet, but he does not, he checks.
Ace-king.
Matt checks behind him, and the Hollywood producer gets greenlit on the very first hand, takes down the pot with the 4s.
Well, the lone amateur extends his chip lead.
What a bunch we have here tonight in Paris at this final table.
Well, I don't think I've ever played a final table this tough.
Phil is very good. Phil is a guy that's going to pay me off.
Mosin, that guy's really good. He's tricky, he's calm.
And then there's Matt.
He's the only person at the table, I believe, that doesn't play professionally.
Timothy plays extremely well.
He pulled a sick bluff on me when his nose started bleeding.
Fabian, he is relentless, just aggression, aggression, aggression.
Theo has an aggressive style that is hard to counter.
This is going to be a dogfight.
Well, a dogfight indeed, but a good one. Really, 6 international star players in their own countries.
Matt Salzberg, as you can see, the chip leader with over 1.9 million. And he's at 3,000 blinds, at 10 and 20. Action on Philip Grissom.
Good one.
Philip looks down at a king-jack. And he is going to raise. Gets folded around to Timothy Adams. Now, Timothy this time with a pair of fours.
How much do you start with, Phil?
Stay the same.
I don't even know what that is.
You didn't look at the chip counts?
No, who cares?
$7.75.
Timothy Adams has a World Series of Poker bracelet already in his young career. 26 years old, but he's going to fold the fours. And now Mosen also not going to call with Queen 10.
You're a professional.
Well, Matt Salzberg's got chips. He's in the big blind, got some money in the pot, so he makes the call with the king 5 of spades.
That's right. Well, he's a writer. He's from Hollywood. He's creative. He's trying to create something here. Will he do it? Flop comes up 8, 9, 10.
2 hearts. Matt checks, and Philip has an open-end straight draw, as you can see, but doesn't want to get check raised out of the pot, so he checks also. Deuce of diamonds comes off.
Neither player. Matt not hitting, and he's just going to check.
Philip, who played the one-drop tournament at the World Series of Poker this year. That was a $1 million buy-in poker tournament.
Man, this guy's a big gambler, no doubt about it. You also played that, made the money, didn't you, Mike?
I did, actually. It was quite fun.
Oh, look at this. Philip, with just basically nothing, is going to bet, and he is going to win this pot.
Well, Philip, a tough player, won 2 European poker titles in 2011. Looking to take down a WPT title tonight.
They're the beautiful Royal Flush girls enjoying the moment here in Paris. Well, there's nothing like seeing a WPT event live. And when you're here, you can meet the Royal Flush girls, Mike, Kimberly, myself. Let's get back to the table. And right now, Matt Salzberg still having the chip lead with close to 1.9 million. Action on Fabian.
Fabian, poker pro out of Germany.
Yeah, Fabian's got a queen jack.
Started this final table on the short stack, and he's still there.
Fabian Quas. He got in this tournament through Ace Satellite. Bargain basement, and he's going to raise with the queen jack. Makes it 40,000 to go. But right behind him, Timothy Adams with Ace King.
Oh, big hand for Timothy here. He's going to 3-bet it up to 82,000.
Certainly is. Mosen out. And now Matt Salzberg also folding.
Philip out as well and round to the big blind.
Uh-oh. Ooh la la. Look at this. Theo Jorgensen with the weapons of mass destruction, the pair of aces, and what a time to get them.
The perfect spot to pick up 2 aces in the big blind. The pot's been raised and re-raised in front of Theo. He is loving this. And here comes the 4-bet.
Oh, chips and a plaque flying out there with the aces.
200,000 to bet by Theo. Fabian quickly folds.
Timothy has a big hand, though. Ace-king. He's got to be thinking, what is going on here? Oh, man, he's getting out extra plaques, extra chips. He's going to re-raise. He makes it 480,000 to go. Back on Theo.
I'm all in.
And there you go.
I got the nuts.
Quick call, but Timothy's not going to like it. He's up against the one hand he doesn't want to be up against. 2 aces.
Now, Theo Jorgensen doesn't have the chips that Timothy has, so Timothy will still be around if he should not get extremely lucky. But what a position he's in right now. Timothy Adams slips on the banana, and Theo Jorgensen from Denmark in great place. Right now, here's the flop.
Now flop 4-4 deuce. As you can see, to win this pot, Timothy's going to have to hit running kings. Nothing else will do for him. They'd split it if it came a 3 and a 5.
And right there, you see the lobby pretty full here. Watching the action on the TVs out there. Here comes the turn.
Well, a deuce comes off. That's going to do it for Timothy in this pot. Theo Jorgensen going to double up and take 1 step closer to capturing this event for the 2nd time.
Oh, he's got to be loving this. Theo Jorgensen is going to take this pot. Well done.
There's more from Paris. Stay tuned.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're at the Aviation Club de France. And you know, Mike, we have been here since season 1 on the World Poker Tour. These tournaments are always great.
Well, Vince, you're right. There's nothing quite like poker right here, smack dab in the middle of the Champs-Élysées at the Aviation Club. And you can remember back in seasons 1 and 2, we had Christopher Johansson win, we had David Benjamin win, and that was when the Greek was at that table and all that commotion took place. Maybe the most exciting event we've ever had in the World Poker Tour.
Remember, he used to go to the Isle of Crete. The blood rolls, the Isle of Crete. It was insane. It was so exciting. And you know what? If you're a Club WPT VIP member, you actually get access to all those great shows here in Paris.
And in addition to that, you can play all the poker you want. You can win your share of up to $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. You can win seats out here on the World Poker Tour. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
All right, back to the table we go.
There you see Matt Salzberg, the lone amateur from the U.S., our chip leader with $1.8 million, but Theo Jorgensen right on his heels now in second place.
Timothy, how much is that now? Just over 400.
Timothy Adams on the short stack right now with just over 400,000.
Mohsen Sharania.
Nice.
Quickly fold. And now it's on Matt Salzberg. He's got an ace-5. Likes to play a lot of hands. This time he's going to raise, makes it 45,000 to go. Philip is out, and now Theo Jorgensen.
Well, Theo on the button, going to 3-bet it here with the king-queen. Makes it 100,000 to go.
Everyone's out, but Matt, he's going to call this with his ace-5.
I'm not fond of this play by Matt. Calling re-raises with an ace baby card.
He's trying to write his own script here. Let's see if he gets lucky.
Well, he might be writing the right script, Vince. He's flopped 2 aces. He's got the lead.
He's going to check him.
Well, Theo has the ace-high straight draw, as you can see, and bets.
Makes the continuation bet for 125. A quick call by Matt.
Matt has the nut flush draw.
Not re-popped, and here's the turn, 7 of hearts.
Well, Matt checks. Theo reaching for more chips. Just has a king high, but gonna fire a second shell. At least it looks like it. And indeed he does. This time he bets 275,000. There you see Matt fumbling with his chips a little bit, but he does make the call and makes it pretty quick.
He certainly does, to the disturbance of Theo. 8 of hearts on the river. Theo doesn't hit. Matt checks again.
Well, Theo only has a king high, and look at this, Vince.
Oh boy, look at those dangerous looking plaques coming out.
Well, those are 100,000 each. Love the plaques. That's what distinguishes European events from American events. Besides the colored money of the euros that they use, but at the table, the plaques are the big guns.
600.
Look at this, Vince, a 3-barrel bluff by Theo Jorgensen.
Oh man, he is relentless. And now, Matt Salzberg has to squirm in his seat here.
Well, you can't blame him, Vince. Virtually all it can beat is a bluff here.
This would be the call of the week in Paris if Matt should make this call, but it's tough to do with a horrible kicker.
This is the problem when you're calling re-raises with ace and baby cards. Even if an ace comes out, you're pretty much frozen in the pot.
Boy, the 2 chip leaders.
Well, there you see Theo's dad over there nervously watching his son. He'd really be nervous if he knew what Theo had.
Oh, and the producer's going to call it a wrap. He cannot compete. He mucks his hand.
Well, Theo shows the bluff.
Beautifully done by Theo Jorgensen.
And folks, there's not many players that will fire 3 shells at a pot. They bluff on the flop, bluff on the turn, bluff on the river. Theo Jorgensen did it. He has taken the chip lead. He is well on his way to becoming a 2-time Grand Prix de Paris champion.
Brilliantly done by the man from Denmark.
For the past few seasons, we've followed young, talented poker pros as they begin to make a name for themselves in the poker world. Well, tonight, we find out what poker truly means to them in this edition of Ones to Watch.
We're the ones to watch. We're the ones to watch. Yeah, we're the ones to watch. Check it. 1, 2, WPT. Ones to watch. Ones to watch.
Poker, to me, is just the greatest game ever.
Sean Deeb has quite the reputation in poker. Clearly, he's one of the best. The typical grinder kid who has a lot of money when they're young.
Sean Deeb, I'd love to sit down with him for 3 weeks and tell me what I'm doing wrong.
that'd be amazing.
He's an absolute huge grinder, has done really, really well in tournaments.
John Deeb, the knock on him is that he wins everything online but nothing live, so I'm sure he'll be looking to change that.
I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather, my father, and most of my family have all been small private business owners.
I'm Sean Deeb, and welcome to Ted's Fish Fry.
Ted's Fish Fry is a family business that's been operated for about 60 years now. Fried seafood place with a whole host of things on the menu. And we have 5 locations currently, all in the greater Albany area. It's been in our family's name from the start, and I owe everything that I've gotten to become through that business.
My brother Bill taking the orders up front. Order, crabs, catch them on your fry.
I think it'd be really cool to see Sean Deeb frying now. With one of those little hats.
Like when we called in orders, we had no paper. We would just remember everything. I think a lot of my memory in poker I owe to the early age of working there and remembering 20 people's orders in a row.
Hey, why don't you grab the dining room, too? Come on, grab it. He wants me to clean the dining room, the only thing I was good at, and I still wasn't even good at that.
Sean is certainly capable of doing a whole lot of things.
Relentless. Knows every spot, takes every spot. Not scared, uninhibited.
He did what very few players have done and took his licks in order to get good. And now he's not only one of the best no-limit tournament players, but he's a great cash game player and can play any game very, very well.
There's always something new to learn. There's always some new way to play. And that's the greatest thing is the game is a hybrid. It's like a virus that keeps changing, improving, getting stronger. And it's so much fun to be a part of the industry.
So after that 3-barrel bluff, Theo Jorgensen, now the chip leader with over $2.4 million in chips. Matt Salzberg drops to second place with just $1.5 million.
They are playing fast here in Paris. Back to the felt we go. Philip Grissom. Wow, he looks down at a huge hand. Pair of ladies. It's the queens. But he is raised to 40,000. Theo out, and now Fabian. Fabian's got King Jack, 30-year-old poker pro out of Germany. Got in this tournament through a satellite.
That's right, Vince. Everybody else had to pony up 7,500 euros, or about $10,000 US, to play this event.
I'm all in. Oh boy, he's going to push all in with this.
He is going with it right here.
Timothy Adams out, Mosin now. Can't play. Matt also going out, so back on the man with the queens.
Well, Phillips quickly calls him with the 2 queens.
That was quick.
And Fabian's going to have some help.
Disturbingly quick.
Awfully quick.
If he's going to stay alive in this tournament.
Fabian just playing that Philip didn't have a big hand, that he was messing around. His assumption wrong as he sips his coffee. That's got to disturb your stomach at this point.
Well, if he didn't win this pot, Vince, he could go out to the Champs-Élysées and be sipping coffee at a sidewalk cafe.
King Jack up against queens. Here we go with the first 3. Flop is a safe 3, 9, Jack.
Well, Fabian got some help with the 2 jacks, but
She mistook it.
he's going to have to catch a king or a jack or 2 runners to win this pot. It'll be 2 diamonds or 2 cards to make a straight. Doesn't happen.
That was a really upsetting card.
Fabian Quas from Germany must catch a king or a jack to stay alive in this tournament. Otherwise, he'll be heading down to the Champs-Élysées and wandering the streets.
Can he get lucky? Fabian?
Said, 5th place, I go party.
Here comes the river.
So that's going to do it for Fabian Quas, 30-year-old pro from Germany. Got in this tournament by winning a $700 satellite. Out tonight in 6th place.
That is right. A gentleman shakes hands. He picks up 75,000 euros here this evening. We are down to 5 players, and right now Fabian is going to talk about his loss.
And I have 15 big blinds. I think it's pretty standard. I didn't get to play much today, but throughout the whole tournament, I'm pretty happy with my play, yeah.
That was German player Fabian Quas, who is leaving our final table in 6th place. Plenty more action when we return to the final table of the Grand Prix de Paris. Stick around.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
But the unique thing about the Aviation Club is that it's private compared to a big casino anywhere else, where this is so small, so it's kind of cozy.
The Aviation Club is very upscale because you're still playing in these casinos with all the smoke and slot machine sounds and people dressed like slobs in shorts and sandals.
It's kind of a unique experience because it's kind of like you're playing an old gentleman's gambling society or something. You just walk in and you can kind of feel like the history and stuff. It's cool, it's unique, I like it.
I like Paris. What's not to like in Paris? And we're in the center, so it can't really be bad.
Welcome back to Paris.
Well, Vince, all players love coming to the Aviation Club de France because it does have that James Bond ambience about it.
It is fantastic. We're enjoying it here as five-handed poker continues at the final table of the World Poker Tour. Let's go to the felt.
Action on our chip leader, Theo Jorgensen.
And right now, Theo Jorgensen, our chip leader, picks up a pair of sevens, Mike, just like that.
Yep, got the two walking sticks. Going to raise it up to 45,000.
Timothy Adams from Canada goes away. Mosen out.
Now we're around to Matt Salzberg, who looks down at the ace-9 of diamonds, and he is going to make the call.
Philip out.
What's going on with you?
And Matt wants revenge on Theo, perhaps, from that last debacle with the aces. And here comes the flop, 5-6 deuce, and he gets two diamonds.
We can see some action here.
Check.
Matt's flopped the nut flush draw. Theo has the overpair. Matt checks. As you can see, Theo is going to bet, and I'm guessing it's going to get check raised here.
Theo bets 58,000. Matt with the four flush. Oh yeah, he's going to put in a raise.
Yeah, that's what you do with the nut flush draw.
Goes to 150,000 back on the Dane.
Now you have an overpair, but you're saying to yourself, would this guy have called a raise before the flop if he had junk cards like that on the flop? Not so sure.
Well, he's going to gamble, makes the call with the overpair.
So Theo does make the call.
Matt's praying for a diamond. Can he get low? He gets a diamond.
The diamond comes off. The board also pairs. Not a good card at all if you're sitting in Theo's seat. If you're sitting in Matt's seat and just made the nut flush, you're quite content.
Oh, $175,000 content. That's what Matt's betting, and he's going to get the action. He gets the call by the Dane.
Well, Theo quickly calling there. And not sure what, he just doesn't even want to look at the river card, and I don't blame him. King of diamonds comes off, so he didn't want to see a diamond for sure. Now there's four diamonds out there. Action is on Matt. And Matt picking up a couple plaques. That's 200,000 and bets.
You don't have it.
Yeah, he's not going to let up on the Dane. Makes a comfortable bet.
Well, Theo's in that spot that Matt was in a minute ago. Basically, all he can beat is a bluff here. You know, one thought that you might have in your mind here if you're sitting in Theo's seat is, you know, I stole a pawn off this guy and showed it to him. Is he going to do the same thing to me? That's the problem when you show a guy a bluff earlier, because now you're thinking maybe he's going to try to bluff you back here. And basically, with these two sevens and no diamond, that's all you can beat is a bluff.
This looks like 200 out the window. On the other hand, I'm a curious guy.
Oh boy, he's going through torture now. Theo's actually starting to look a little like Gus Hansen with his mannerisms. A little bit.
Now there's the curiosity call. He does make the call.
That's a winner.
Sort of a hero call, but it's not going to work here. Matt shows him the nut flush, and Theo says, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
There's Theo's dad, Gert, who looks like a bouncer from anywhere. Tough-looking guy. I want to get on his bad side, that's for sure. Theo, of course, takes his dad. Every time he makes a final table, he flies him in just for intimidation. All right. Ante's to 3,000. Blinds are up to 12 and 24,000. Back to this hand motion with a quick fold. Matt also folding, and now it's around to Philip.
Philip on the button now. Looks down at the queen 10, and he's going to raise it.
This is Philip's fourth WPT event.
Now, Theo goes out, but...
On.
Timothy Adams all in with ace-queen.
Oh,
Yep.
That's not wasting your time, guys. 220 on top, 270 to start.
And the German is contemplating this.
Well, Philip trying to contemplate the odds here.
I think I gamble a little bit.
Saying, is there a chance the guy could have 2 7s or 2 8s or I could be in a race here?
He's a big gambler, Philip. Played the one-drop event.
I want to kick you out anyways.
Pardon?
I want to kick you out anyways. Let's speed it up a little bit, huh? 220 to call, yeah?
Looks like he's going to make this call and try to get lucky.
Then he's going to have to get very lucky because he's dominated, and he does make the call, and he's not going to like it when Timothy turns up his hand. Ace-Queen versus Queen-10.
Good place for the Canadian Timothy Adams to double up.
Timothy all smiles right now. And why wouldn't you be? You're short stacked. You're all in with a dominating hand.
And the flop is, yeah, you hit the ace, just like that ace-9-3 on the flop.
So Philip's going to have to catch 2 runners to win this pot now. Doesn't happen as the deuce of spade comes off.
Yeah, all right.
Timothy Adams from Canada is going to double up here.
10 on the river.
There we go.
Timothy quite content to double up. He's traveling through Europe with a bunch of friends just to play poker. It's got to be exciting.
I tried it, guys. Sorry. Tried hard.
You look at Philippe's hair, Mike, right there. You know that must have been a mohawk about 4 months ago. And now it's just a bad wig look. I don't know. Probably had it all purple and pink. Who knows? We've seen them here on the poker tour before.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with Philip's hair, Vince. You guys with perfect hair, you're always criticizing the rest of us on our haircuts.
Just a little observation, my friend. Just thinking outside of the box there. All right, back to this hand. We got a couple folds, and now Theo Jorgensen has a Queen-10. This Dane loves the action.
52.
Well, he just saw Philip get burned by a Queen-10 in the last pot, but thinks maybe it'll work this time, so he raised it.
Timothy out. And now Mosen with an ace-10.
Well, he doesn't 3-bet it. He just makes the call here.
He's from Chicago.
He's been relatively quiet at this final table, but I'm telling you, this guy has game, and he'll be a force to be reckoned with before this night is over. Mark it down.
He's in a good place right now. Ace-10 versus Queen-10, and the flop comes up 9-8-3.
Well, no help to either player. It does give Theo a gut shot straight draw, so I guess it is a help for him. And it goes check-check. And now the 7 of clubs comes off. And with that card, Mosen reaching for chips here because he has the open-end straight draw. Gonna bet 54,000. Theo